Hello, it's Prince Easy, and well, let's get to it. So apparently, Alzheimer's, what I don't know, it was known to be decay of the neurons in the brain, causing them to curl around, and some protein molecules involved in that whole thing, and the answer became adding more protein to the diet would help a person with Alzheimer's actually heal. And now they're coming out and saying that the actual thing is actually a communicable disease. It's actually transferable from one person to another. It's no longer a effect of aging, as cellular decay happens within people, so they say. Now, what would be the solution to a memory issue that has been in society for a long time, since the introduction of, I think, the mobile phone? It affected the minds of people acutely, right? And now they're gonna push it even further with this man-made designer situation, just to push people towards Elon Musk's way to implant them with the Neuralink, because apparently there's been some development with the program. You should look it up. Anyway, we see the Taylor Swift effect, I call it. Apparently, she is the arrow in Joe Biden's quiver to defeat Apollo. But again, this is just about moving the hearts of children, because that's who follows Taylor Swift, right? The people who don't really care about politics. Or politics is none of their concerns, because really they are not grown to even know how it affects them anyway. That is apart from knowing even what their leaders are doing in their name in Africa and other places around the world, and the chaos they have it. But that's another thing. So let's move on. Well, narrative control. Okay, well, there's a psyop growing indeed. Zion and Islam, Well, I don't know. Well, I've been thinking about the ways to basically answer this swiftly, but I'll use, I don't know, I will call it a metaphor or whatnot. Yes, I'm like a tree with fruits, and some wait down this tree and wait for the fruits to ripen and fall down into their lap, and they eat and they move on. Others are actually impatient, so they hurl stones towards the trees and actually consume the unripened fruit. And there are others that are way beyond, and their plan is just to cut down the tree. Okay? So I think that best explains my situation in regards to that. And my advice to everybody is that let our God be truth. That's my advice. Let our God be truth. So if there is a disagreement with whatever I'm saying here, just because we are from different religious backgrounds, then feel free to turn off and live your life in peace. Okay, I upload my videos in this particular channel and nowhere else. So if you turn it off, then I don't think it would have any effects in your life. But if your curiosity brought you here and somehow has turned me into your enemy, well, I'm sorry for it, you know. There's something peculiar that happened this Sunday, the past Sunday, like the last one. And it had something to do with sorcery and hatred but you know, I've been told to forgive. I had the power to repay in kind what you did. Okay, I'm talking to a very particular group of people. This is part of the video that is theirs. And you did it on the road, and I know the 2 locations where you did it at. Now, I don't know why you did it, but I forgive you regardless. So, if, I don't know, we are in difference of opinions, I don't know, politically or religiously or ideologically or wherever, please live your life. Leave me out of your life. I think you'll be fine. Okay? But if you think that what I'm saying is important and it transcends one's particular view on aspects of life that is theirs, then you can listen and you can eat from the fruit, eat from the tree, I mean. But if not, then please, I'm not forcing anybody here. Okay, I'm not forcing anybody here to follow me. I'm not dragging anybody. I always insist, use your free will wisely. So I'm not the embodiment of the hatred between the Christians and the Islam and the Hindus and Islam, the Hindus and Christians. These people in these groups have been killing each other for the longest time. You know, I think before 1994 when I was born. So I'm not the embodiment of that hatred, and stop putting me in that position. Okay? Stop putting me in that position. You put yourself in that position because you felt like challenging. It's fine to challenge, but the way that they went with it is not the right way. So feel free. Walk around, see me. All is forgiven. And I want all of these religions to understand this. Of course, there are mainly here in the case of Tanzania, you know, there is Islam and Christianity, and at one point they cross paths, yeah. But there are differences, there are fundamental differences we can talk about, right? When it comes to Christ, you know, the Christians say that Christ is actually God, and the Muslims actually do not agree in this aspect. Okay, and it's fine. It's good that they ask questions. It's good that they challenge. Okay, but being ignorant of that difference is a betrayal, in my opinion. Okay, so I have come out here the most, I think, to even say that if you want to know God, you have to know Christ. I have not been shy to say this. So if you are against me because of a religion and whatnot, then it's fine also. Live your life and leave me out of it. And if people want me in their lives, then I'll be in their lives, but do not keep them away from me or try to anything like that. You can challenge my ideas, feel free. Do it. I encourage it. So to add upon that, I've been following the situation in Zion, what's happening over there in UG, in TZ, in ZNZ. And really there's incitement going on. I heard there's a school that they shut down in ZNZ. That's a good thing, But people saw it. People kept quiet until it became a big thing. And that's a problem. We have been slacking, and somehow we have become this nest where they can just take our people and ideologically confuse them into murdering each other as a way to spread their faith. I've said it and I've admitted it before. The Christians did it, the Muslims did it, the Hindus did it, and it didn't work because it wasn't really backed by God himself. It wasn't. And that's how you not change. That's how you do. That's how you not. That's not the way to change souls. That power lies within God himself. So there is no point. And I'm not trying to, suppress some other religion or someone. No, I'm not. I'm not. I have no intention of doing such a thing. Because I understand this. God speaks to people the way he wants, at his convenience. And it's way above me to start dividing people and starting pitting people towards each other and in these wars. What I've been saying here has been productive for everybody. So you have to check yourself really, because this is a spirit that has infected our nation, Zion. It has infected. Yes, we have differences, but we don't have to kill each other over those differences. Like, whose idea is it to say that this is the only way that we can achieve our goal? Like, this is the only way we can create a Christian state, or this is the only way we can create an Islamic state. Like, what? And that's the problem, even in these Middle Eastern states that claim to be Islam. What do they do to Christians? What do they do to Hindus? What do they do to other religions apart from them? What do they do to each other within themselves, the Shiites and the whatever? Because it's a ploy. And the fruits of that ploy is death. So it's not a good tree to be like eating from. Okay? So, of course, to create a safe environment, we have to create a third party, which is what we know as government, to to not be biased. As some religious sects go stronger, they should not suppress the minority, you know. I personally am a believer of that. I'm a believer of that, because the scripture orders me to, the law is just two things. I've said this, right? Love God, love your neighbor. It didn't say love Christian neighbors. It just say love your neighbor, the person next to you, and that's enough for me. Okay, so whatever is interfering in that love, interfering in that peace, that's what I'm war with. I'm not at war with people. So stop, like, okay. So something needs to be done. I leave it to you, the sheikhs, to deal with it. Because your youth, your believers are being recruited into these cells. And the bigger the number, of course, you get the picture. You have seen it all over the world. So, as usual, I do what I do best. Okay, so there are people that, this is the other narrative control situation, right? There are people that have caught on to, like, strange situations, you know, pertaining to sharks and bear attacks, and them leaving bears in, releasing bears that were in zoos into the wild because, I don't know, whatever reason they had, and all of this money they throw into, I don't know, the wildlife conservation and whatnot. But again, it's a serpent's idea, you know. If it's Zion, then it would be a safe bet to say that there's no scheming or anything like that. Okay, or else it will be quickly revealed. Okay, but in this case, look at this. Okay, I've written it here in front of you clearly. What is it telling you? Okay, now we have cases of aircraft just falling out of the sky. Okay, and some investigations have led them to believe that these aircraft were missing some essential bolts, so they say. So a country like TZ, who has ordered recently a couple of planes, I think for safety, whatever, I think you should recheck them and inspect them yourselves from top down. Okay, because that COVID situation caused like a situation with the planes, right? And it wasn't about microchips neither. It was something else. They are preparing for something else. So I'm not saying sabotage, I'm just saying be careful, right? And soon we are going to see some recalls of the 747 or whatever. Yeah, and of course there won't be a recovery because simultaneously the dollar will collapse. So there goes your flying ability. So you have sharks in the water. Yeah, you can just Google shark attacks and on YouTube even, you know. Just enter shark attacks and you see the magnitude of the problem, right? At least what is reported, okay? What is reported, okay? If you add that into a frequency control and whatnot that have been researching back then with the dolphins and whatnot, the mind control thing. And also we have seen a lot of cases of fish being grounded, right? It seems to be happening only over there, that they lose their sense of depth or whatever. You know, that can be their trial, to to them actually infesting the entire coast with vicious animals to keep you inside. And of course we have bears in the wild, and of course we have the wall. What does that look like to you? It's a trap. It's a trap. They're trying to keep you in Babylon by any means necessary. It might be, I don't know, compensation for slavery or whatever brand you like to call it. Or whatever scam they have. Maybe, I don't know, giving you a black president to make you believe in the dream that, hey, here is where everything is. You're not supposed to go home. Home is not home. Some of you even feel like that, and it's sad. But hey, this is all in God's hands. I'm just here to report the situation of the progress of this war that's going on silently or openly for those people who know what's actually going on. Right? So yeah. So they have plans and everything, right? And it seems that their far future is all about flying vehicles, It seems to be obsessed with that. This is an extract from Rick and Morty, of course. These monsters here are traveling through time in that bubble. Okay, and this is the future that they show. We have flying cars and high towers and all of this. And of course, from Shazam, we have the oath, all or none. Yeah, they both say their little secret oath, all or none. You remember that oath we talked about? This is from the movie Love, Reset, and really this movie put a lot of things in perspective, pertaining to what we have been talking about, It's like the devil throwing a fit, if he doesn't have the prince as his bride, as Christ has the church and the prince has his bride, then he's gonna throw a fit. Okay, so this is what this whole scene is about, Remember that picture we talked about in the last video? We have an angel here courting a human woman, and of course we have a deer. She has lipstick. You know the history of lipstick, right? And this movie is all about that, Love or reset. That's what this is, right? They're threatening. If we, and if I in particular, don't ensure the safety of their kingdom by marriage to one of them, then they will cause a global reset. That's what that Schwab nigga has been talking about, but hasn't been really open, even if you think about it, the Matrix, right? What would happen if Neo did not fall in love with Trinity? A reset, that's what the whole movie is about, having the control over the world after the reset. Even the last Matrix is about them gaining the power of the reset. And who has the power of that reset? Trinity, right? So you have to see things in that perspective, or else this whole situation will not make sense. It's all about the Prince of Zion and the Prince of Babylon. That's all it's all about, And a lot of everything else is just noise. And every movie is set up like that. Every movie is set up like that. I've shown you many movies and the similarities therein, right? Now this is right here is from, I don't know, Japan or Korea. And they made this piece of art here where the prince basically loses his memory, and they create a situation where they have to fall in love with the person that literally tried to kill him. It's an interesting, it's an interesting movie, but it has funny undertones, so it goes down easy, but it's sinister. Let's just say that it's sinister. This is an extract from Samurai Jack, right? The white horse rider who is fighting the devil, Aku. And here is the future, Aku, the center of enlightenment, right? He has a bulb on top of his head, we see this in cartoons, right? When a cartoon get idea, they have a light bulb, that is the symbol for enlightenment, right? And here we have also in the foreground, we have a flying vehicle. So again, Samurai Jack is thrust into the future to find himself in a different world where Aku is God and they're actually flying cars, and it's a whole situation. It's a whole situation. And he has now to defeat, the evil Aku. And this provocative nonsense, it's just noise, it's just noise. So how did Jesus look like? They're saying this because, again, they have attacked Zion, right? Past, 5 days it was avian, and past 2 days it affected my cat, like, severely. Couldn't eat, a lot of coughing and wheezing. It's insane. Love or reset. That's why they're doing this. That's why they're being obvious. Right now, I'm not talking all of these bioweapons and all of this to make you afraid. I face these things every day in my life. You can't even imagine. It's even a hassle to try to document them. That's how serious this is. So you have to fight also in your own ways. Okay, in your own ways, because there is no love over here. They can try to pull their reset and see how successful it goes. Okay, this is what they're doing. They're escalating things slowly. And seeing and turning up the temperature, right? And seeing how the prince reacts, and learning about my habits, and observing my internet activity, and creating algorithms to it's funny whatever they're doing. I can feel it, I can see it, because again, if you are a targeted individual, then you have some insight that most people might not have. Okay, so I'm in a position to know. Okay, now they are switching the whole Wuhan to America. I don't know what that means. But again, love or reset. And right now, love is not going so well. Love is not going so well. So their plan is to create a reset, to create extreme crisis in order to cause the kingdoms to merge for the sake of quote-unquote humanity. So again, like Apollo said, he's trying to save America, he's trying to save Babylon. So whatever they are doing, they are trying to save Babylon. You have to get that to your head. Okay? Still, they have missing soldiers, apparently. And now here Netanyahu is giving such statements that Israel is going to Africa. Like, no, nigga, you better stay over there, nigga. You can go to these Babylon countries, feel free. You can come over here, but you won't harvest anything. Because we know the truth. Those who have been listening anyway. This is Judah, the youngest, and you are the eldest. You're supposed to be a good big bro, but you are You are terrible peoples. That's why we have been given power to stop and intervene for the sake of humanity. So to not try to like ride our wave with your nonsense. Talk about waves. You know, I had to capture this. Okay, you thought it was a joke. You know, I captured this. I don't know, let me see the date. You know, you can see the date over there. This is when I captured this. Right, so it is serious. Okay, and of course more truth is coming out, you know, but the Japanese, I don't think they'll ever come out and admit, because if they admit that they had black people over there, then they would have to admit that it was after the fall of Judah, and Judah was taken into the entire tribe of Israel were taken into captivity. They actually took the black people into captivity and took their possessions. Okay, but I want to say this as a prince. Admit. Okay, admit. We won't feel any type of way about this. Okay, I wouldn't. Okay, I know about this and I wouldn't. But the longer you keep lying and lying and lying, it becomes even harder for you to untangle yourself from the lies. So you Chinese, you have to admit and tell and say out in public that indeed the first kingdom of China was a black man. Even you Japanese, going all over Europe, Italy, they call them the Moors or whatever. It's just absurd things and censorship, okay? The longer you keep quiet, the longer the devil uses you to fight us, as he has been doing. Right? So you better figure out your situation. That's my suggestion. Okay? But the truth will be known. Okay? And you'll be found guilty because you do not even recognize your past, your true past. You know? Even over there in what they call America. Okay, those Indians have to admit their origin and what really. Okay, and tell the truth, okay? Because some people might think that, I don't know, I'm shy from the truth and whatnot, you know? Let me tell you something interesting, you know, that I thought about before even coming up in here, you know? Like, it has been revealed to me that at one point, black people used to eat people with no melanin on the skin, aka white people. They used to sacrifice them and eat them and treat them as less as human. And now the same thing is happening to the black man. It's interesting. And now it's about to end. And upon that transition, there's incitement of this race war or whatnot going on there. But it has to take many faces, of course, you know. It takes faces of terrorism, it takes faces of exploitation, it takes faces of ignorance itself. But regardless, the facts need to be addressed. Okay? So did the white people, believe it or not. You know, a lot of people were eaten, apparently. Again, that connection to God, you know. So that's why it's happened. You know, now there's this whole agenda about the UN, while the UN over there in the palace of the nation apparently has no electric bills. Like, what? So all of the money is just for war that you pay for? Like, what's the point here? Like, what's the point of even continuing with this psyop that you have been running over the world? Like, what? Like, what's the point? You know, it's not gonna end well. But you don't care, do you? Because you're really infiltrators, and this is not about people. So I heard about this and I had my reservations, but again, I don't know. It's a one-sided story. And of course, we saw this coming in the pipeline, right? They have to like lay the foundation, and this is the foundation. Okay, another foundation is just allowing priests to get married and this and that, you know. It's a challenge, you know. He's a challenge. He's a challenge from within, and you have to figure out, you know. For me, I don't care. I can address him like directly, you know, like I'll tell him like, stop this demonic activity, what you're doing in the church, and you know that it is against the church, and you know the law. You're the freaking Pope, for crying out loud. But you know, he don't care, you know, he just keeps doing just suspect things, you know. And now, of course, he's trying to ride the wave, you know. I heard that he has called the president of Tanzania, you know, and I watched this YouTube channel. I don't know what's the name, you know. The Pope has been active over here in Tanzania, right? Very active, you know. And I've been watching, you know. I've been watching, you know. But that's my opinion, you know. But you people, you have to like come to the realization yourself, you know. I can't force feed you anything. I just state my opinion, right? So here's him again, you know. Again, it's the same date, you know. Yeah. This is when this video started cooking up, imagine. Of course, food currency. Food is gonna be a currency in the future, because regardless of everything, our financial markets collapsing, the forex collapsing, or anything like that collapsing, people still need food. People still need water. People still need a place to sleep and lay their heads. So that's my agenda, because I know it's a war, and everything else outside of that is non-essential, in my opinion, if it does not help me achieve these things that I've stated, you know. Food and shelter and water and all of those things that people actually need to stay alive, you know. And forex is not one of them. Okay, so of course it has effects, but remember, this is the war, and in this war you have to be honest with yourself, you know. To Mwigulu here, right? Even over there in UG, the equivalent, there are systems, right? Systems by the kingdom of Satan, which is also over there in London. Okay, they call it the city of London. Right? And all of these banks and all of these transaction confirmations and all of whatever systems are based over there. Right? And these are weapons, okay, as Uganda has seen. When they try to openly object their situation, they were flabbergasted, to use the correct terminology, and they started to create these sanctions, okay? And these systems of economy that are external, they can be weaponized. This fertilizer from outside can be weaponized, okay? The technology itself can be weaponized. You know, what do you think these military allegiances were all about these days? They're all about the exchange of technology. Okay, that's why Korea is picking up right now, and people are blind to the situation, not even remembering like, yo, they just met the pro in rockets, rocket technology, right? So of course they want to catch you with their pants down and feed you GMOs, so they want to come after your gardens. Now I don't know what kind of political power this idiot holds, but it will go because it is Babylon. There's many unexplained things, the city of Rapta, like I've not even seen major documentation about the city of Rapta, the supposed northern metropolis of the Roman Empire, but they act like it not exists, and now they're going to act like this things does not exist underwater. It's all black. It's all black peoples. Okay, it's all black peoples. And we ruin the world, and we are gonna unruin it by the grace of God, hopefully. Okay, but do not work against us. Do not work against me. That's just my suggestion. You can do whatever you want. Okay. Of course, they're trying to create situations. Religion is law, right? Religion is law. So they're trying to pit these laws and trying to act like they cannot be in agreement with one another. And this is the cooking up of the war that we're talking about, Yeah. We have the same values. We value human life. We value family. We all eat. We all need water. We all need electricity. Let's not focus about when we are in our own groups, we can have our own situation, but when it comes to dealing with the rest of the community, then I think we can agree on a lot of things, but they're trying to create a situation where that religion and government coexisting does not exist, or else they'll challenge. That's what they're trying to say. Because, like I've said, if you're not careful, the government can become a religion. Okay, the government can become a religion because it's law. So is religion. Religion is law, right? Okay. Look at this. I just put that here to put in perspective. The angels were made to save humanity, not because they were lesser. Talking to you fallen angels and how you fell for your own stupidity. Not because you are lesser, because you are greater. You are in a better position to help humanity, but you forsake that purpose and ended up ruining us. Okay, I'm a human, I can say that. You are ruining the world. And whatever interference for whatever reason just ends up in chaos. Okay, the same as Esau and Jacob. Okay, Esau, the explorer, was meant to discover things, know about a lot of things, about medicine and all of these. And you can see even Esau today. He's the same way. But Jacob is different. He's the youngest. Okay? Even our economies reflect that. We are the youngest. And you, the bros, Esau, white people are supposed to be helping us, not being jealous that we have been given rulership and try to kill off the princes and take the seat, take the throne like you're planning to do with me. Like, really. What you have only successfully achieved is just make me very, severely alert and cautious and mistrusting of people, unless they express themselves in a major way. Those I trust. Cosmic and divine. they say. How about that? Again, I took that date right there. So, yeah, still trying to get into your brain. And everybody wants a cosmic and divine celebration of love. I want a divine celebration of love, right? I want it to be divine and cosmic, as in God interfere himself to make it happen. But mushrooms are not the way to go through this, So this guy cannot make a 20-minute speech, but can sell weapons to Gog and Magog over there. Like, what? This is what I have an issue with that guy over there. He's the puppet, and people are praising him, This might be uncomfortable for you to hear. But again, he's a puppet, and whatever actions he has taken after he has taken power over there proves that he's a puppet. Okay? He's not about sitting Africans and figuring out situations in Africa. He's not about that. He's moving his own trajectory. Just holding power for the beast over there. People need to wake up. Okay? People need to wake up. Okay? If you're not hearing my words, then you have a problem in your hands. Okay? You can choose to ignore them, then you come back and recognize that yes, he was saying the truth, and I would make a believer out of you, and I'll be glad. Mwana mpotevu and all. Okay? But he's not gonna help you, Burkina Faso. You're screwed. Okay? I wasn't able even to finish the Hunger Games. Hunger, that food currency. They use hunger to control the masses. It's a perfect tool. It's effective. Yeah? So the Hunger Games, Songbird. It's a romance story between these two people from two different kingdoms. It's all about that, She's the serpent, he's the prince. They are trying to get the prince to take over their kingdom, because they figure that's the only way they can survive. If I were to lead Babylon, it would survive, because it wouldn't be under the rule of Apollo anymore, technically. But again, that brings a problem. I would have to be severely compromised to go along with Babylon's agenda, because they do not want to change. They want to continue that dark path they have been on, and they want me on board with it. Yeah? The whole agendas that they have been forces the masses, Yeah. Of course, all you have to be careful about in this movie, all you have to watch for is the black people. Follow the black people if you want to understand this movie. Right? So we have peoples in zoos. Right? Yeah. Most recent history is the black people, of course, put in zoos and being watched. And of course, a rose. Here's the conspiracy. Right? Of course, we talked about this. I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but it's in there. This is a whole psyop. Like the false positives, they say. They even crucify this black guy over here, without any context, because it's all about the black Messiah, they say, the black savior, the person that will save the black people. Okay, they do not want the slavery of black people to end. So they figure if they could crucify the prince, then that's the only way. That's why they have this image here. Of course, we have the whore herself with all the lipstick, the red dress, and of course the hybrid eyes, and of course she is a genetics, what should I call it? Yeah, it's a tongue twist. But she's basically a genetics expert. She splices things. All of these vases here in the back are full of experiments, high experiments, of course. Okay, and she gives the answer to a very peculiar. Of course, they talk about bats and rats. Why? Because, like in the movie Batman, they said a bat is technically a flying rat. Right? So I don't know. I didn't really want to show this mask, but it's a mask. It's an African mask. It's an African mask. I'll prove it to you. But this movie is showing over there in, I don't know, it's Mexico or US or some. I had it in my phone, but I deleted it. It's an African mask. The design is quite similar. More truth in plain sight, right? Of course, the creator, the movie The Creator, another conspiracy against the prince. It's a sick movie. Just imagine you meeting a woman, you as a prince meeting a woman, and then that woman has your child, and then something happens, they die, and you find out that before she died, she took a picture of the baby in the stomach and made a robot that had the face of your child, and it's a whole situation. You have to put it into perspective to understand how dark these people are. But here again we have the antelope, the horns, and we have the stake, and we have the shepherd, right? It's just like this scene here, So yeah, and I made a mistake. This is from, I said it's from Dial of Destiny. I don't, but it's not. It's actually from The Mummy. Okay, I don't know, The Mummy 2014 or something like that. Inside in the movie also they have the same plot twist. This guy's son falls in love with a girl who lived for like 3,000 years old or something like that. That's how they tell you, like, wink wink, it's a Nephilim. I don't remember particularly where this is from, but I don't know, I found it peculiar. That we have this statue here. It has a leg and has a serpent crawling up its leg. More symbolism. The 2 blocks, it's the initiation, right? So yeah. And also, if you couple this with what Enoch said, the vision of the statue, the vision of the statue, if you can look it up, the vision of the statue. Basically, the statue is the attempts of creating a hybrid civilization between humans and fallen angels to coexist in defiance of God's commands. And really, every time a reset happens when that occurs. Okay, before or after, right? Love or reset. Love reset. That's what it's about. and I'm in so much trouble. That's all I can say. I'm in so much trouble because I'm in the middle of this disaster. I'm in the middle of this disaster, but Jesus take the wheel. Well, that's all I had to share with you today. But again, stay safe. I love you. Prince Eric signing out. Bye.